Hello and welcome to Footy Corner. It's been a little while. We've been offline for a little bit of time. Obviously, the break and whatnot, but with things getting back to normal, we are back. I'm Sparks. This is Footy Corner. We're joined today with Varun. Welcome in, Varun. How are we?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, welcome anytime, my friend. Anytime. Obviously, we are building up as well. So if people are interested in appearing on shows, then just drop me a DM on Twitter or drop in the comments of the video, and we'll hit you back with the response and try and get you involved. But yeah, there we go. Have you watched any of the preseason games, Varun? Have you seen any of those?
Yeah, I managed to catch the AC Milan game and most of the Newcastle game, but I only caught the first half of the Spurs game. But I've
Yeah,
heard plenty about what happened in the parts I've missed to have an idea.
sure. I mean, what's your takeaways from the three games there that kind of stood out for you? I mean, obviously it's pre-season. We're not going to take too much about it, but you get some kind of indication.
Yeah, I think Milan uh, was probably, I would say, the most promising looking game, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
We saw not just some new faces. Like obviously, we were all waiting to see Zubimendi, and we were waiting to see Kepa and Norgard, and I think all of them did a good job, kind of proving themselves and proving why we've gone for them. And obviously, we can't forget Kepa's heroics in the penalty shootout, even though we didn't win that part of that match. Um, Zubimendi, I think, looks great, and I loved how he's always looking for the forward passes. And Norgard just looks basically like what we got him for: a trusted, proven individual who knows the pace of a Premier League side, knows how to slot in, do a job, and that's what we bought him for. That's the kind of Jorginho-like player we needed in the squad this for the coming season. Um, I liked Max Dowman and Marley Salmon a lot. I think for 15 years old to be as technically calm and proficient and hold their own on the same pitch as seasoned professionals.
Confident as well.
Yeah, it says a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
for how proven they are, how confident they are in themselves, and how much trust they have from the manager and the fellow first teamers that we're playing with. I know everyone's kind of raving about Max Dallman, and rightly so, but take nothing away from Salman either. I think he was excellent, and the missed penalty in the shootout, it happens. He's 15 years old. We can't hold that against him at all.
yeah. I don't think you can't take anything about the results as such,
Hmm.
and hold it against players. It's just a pre-season.
Yeah.
I don't really agree with having North London derbies as pre-season games.
No.
And I kind of see Newcastle as a bit of a dodgy one as well.
I
But
just yeah, I'm with you on that. I think generally I'm not a huge fan of playing fellow Premier League sides in preseason. I think
I
there's
don't
always
mind that too much. It's just that whenever we play Newcastle, it just feels like it's got something more to it. It's
I
like
was
it's got
yeah,
a it felt like an FA Cup final. It really did.
exactly. Yeah.
And it's a pre-season game. Why are you going into challenges like you're going in? I just don't really understand
Well,
it.
that's what I was going to add in about it is that the when I say Premier League sides, I mean kind of the ones that there's an edge to those matchups when it's us against them. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to play Burnley or something like that, then
exactly, yeah.
they're not going to be that bothered about it as such. It's just they're going to treat it the same way we're treating it,
Exactly, yeah. But
as a warm up game and whatever.
and
Obviously, the likes of Newcastle, the likes of Tottenham, they're going to treat it a little bit more
yeah,
robustly. But I thought Newcastle treated it more robustly than Tottenham did. To be
they
honest
did.
with you.
I agree. I think so
A-
too. I think they did.
Absolutely crazy, and
No.
some of the challenges that are going in. I particularly, the one that stands out for me is where Trippier was trying to get the ball on the right flank,
Hmm.
and his right flank, and it's literally just kicking the ball.
Yeah.
If a player, and he's literally trying to kick the ball out, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's
For
a friendly. What do you not understand about the friendly?
well, that's the thing, right? And that's what, going back to what you said, I think you can't arrange friendly matches against sides that are not going to treat it like a friendly.
Yeah.
Which you kind of, it's the base requirement of it. For me, the big standout from the Newcastle moment was when Dowman came on and didn't take an elbow to the face like a minute in.
I think it was a forearm, wasn't it, from our friend Joe Linton? But yeah, Joe Linton doing Joe Linton things,
Yeah.
and I saw online, and I said to you before that Twitter's just a crazy world, and it doesn't take long for the whole circle to be completed, because I got Tottenham fans basically coming into my messages, basically going, what are you moaning about? It doesn't, they're not even that physical. They're not doing this, that, and the other.
And then
Yesterday,
yeah.
was it Mikey Moore basically takes the smack in the face, and they're up in arms, and you're like, well, we kind of did say this, and we're not allowed to apparently, but the same people that were in my messages were then complaining about the physical nature of Joe Linton.
Well, that's part of the problem, is the
Tribalism.
on social media, at least online, the level of tribalism. I think it's hit a point where you can't even make a good point anymore, because people will just see it as point scoring and engagement farming, and that's not. I mean, I know that is largely what happens, but occasionally the odd good point is made. And
but you can't have a discussion anymore.
No, you can't.
You literally cannot have a discussion. Every time you make a discussion, there is one point in there, and it's just like it gets slipped onto something completely different than what you tried to make it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh God, it's so boring. It's like Twitter is just full of 12-year-olds.
Oh, I mean, it mostly is now, isn't it?
Well, I think it must be, but yeah, the number of people that go, oh, blue ticks for farming and stuff like that. I have a blue tick. I don't farm anything.
No.
I have a blue tick so that I go live on there. That is purely all I have the tick for.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody can see that. It's just a bit bizarre, to be honest. But yeah, so I thought there were good performances and bad performances. Really, they're kind of the meltdown from the Tottenham game as well. That's arguably should have been 0-0.
Yeah, I think you'd like to think. A lot of people were saying that the foul on Lewis Skelly would have been called in the Premier League, but I like to think it would, if it was a Premier League matchup. And at the same time, I look back at last season, and not just us, but a lot of the decisions that were made by officials that were suspect. And I'm sitting there thinking, would they really have called it?
I think it would.
I think so.
And the reason I say that, and the in defense of, and I'm very critical of referees, right? So I'm not an excuse maker for referees by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean that ref got a new whistle. Let's go with that.
He was testing it out.
He was testing it out, and I think the P ran out by that point. So I think that's basically what it was. And then in the second half, he didn't really use it at all either. And so he's kind of gone, well, I've kind of made my bed now. I've kind of got to lay in it. So it's kind of got to that point.
Like I said, I never didn't catch the second half of that game. I just heard about performances by different players, good or bad. I haven't gone back and seen it yet. So,
but yeah, the Richarlison tackle was definitely a tackle that he took the man. He just took him out. It wasn't a massively aggressive tackle.
No, it was a clip.
It was a clip, and he basically pushed one foot onto the other foot, and he just went over. But the reason I think it would have been called in the Premier League if that was the case was because that directly led to, I think it was Saar, getting
to the goal.
Getting the ball
Mhm.
and then running up and then just seeing him off his line.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I will say I don't know what Raya was playing that ball for, because I think for the most part of that game, he'd basically been going long anyway.
Yeah, I think it looked like the kind of game where we were trialing this other type of approach.
Yeah,
like,
more direct,
more
kind
direct,
of a
because I think
Liverpool
that's,
style of play, really, where we're trying to expand the pitch.
I think that's part of what I get the impression we're trying to do as a change in style for the coming season is we're trying to use the strengths of Martinelli more with his pace. We're trying to use the most likely strengths that Gyökeres brings as well. He's very direct, he's quick, he likes to hang on the last line of the opposition. And if they do end up playing a high line where they're putting us under pressure, that is the way, is that we have to release the ball quickly and rely on the fact that he or Martinelli can outpace the defense, and we immediately go from defense to attack.
Do you trust Martinelli receiving that ball, though?
I do. I've seen it. Like last season, there weren't many occasions for it, but on the few times that Raya did release Martinelli, it felt like he did receive it well. What he does with the ball afterwards, I think, still leaves a bit to be desired.
Yeah, I think it kind of needs to be going a bit more into Havertz or into Saka, say, and then kind of coming across to Martinelli, because I don't know if I don't necessarily think that's his game. I don't think that's plucking the ball out of the air and controlling it and doing whatever is necessarily his game. And I think that he lacks a little bit, maybe purely because Lewis Skelly cuts inside. He doesn't really have that support behind him. He needs that dribbler with him to kind of release him, and then they can kind of play off each other.
I suppose we can hope that that's what Eze brings, if we manage to bring him in.
But this is another point. I was going to do this later, but you bring it up, so that's fair enough. Do you think if we get an Eze, where do you think he plays?
So I've been thinking about this for a few days, because realistically, with the players we have, you couldn't say confidently that Eze becomes first choice in any position on the field. I know left 8 is kind of his main position for Palace, but if Zubimendi is going to sit at the base of our midfield, that means Rice moves into left 8. There's no way Eze is displacing him immediately. Nope. So my thinking is to help all our new signings gel and kind of bed in as easily as possible. My guess is that we would kind of start off with Rice being as the 6, kind of like what he ended up having to do at times for us over the last couple of years, with Eze sitting in his preferred left 8 position for, say, 60 minutes, 65 minutes of a match. And then you bring on Zubimendi, who now goes at the base of the 6. Eze comes off, Rice moves up to left 8, because Rice has played in left 8 before. But this way you kind of help Eze settle into the team. Or, variation would be whoever our left winger is, they come off on 60 or 70 minutes. Eze moves to left wing, Zubimendi comes in as the 6, Rice moves up to 8. Again, one change that kind of takes all this into play.
Yeah, there's definitely more flexibility in the squad, but obviously if you're talking from a starting 11, I mean, obviously you can't really talk about starting 11 these days because there's so many games anyway. But if you said your number 1 starting 11, so your ultimate 11,
am I counting Eze in at this point or saying no?
If Eze is in the team now, if Eze is in the door, is Eze in your ultimate starting 11? So say that there's a Champions League semi-final, for example. Not saying before anybody gets on the rafters that we're going to get to the semi-final of a Champions League just because we got to the semi-final of a Champions League last season, right? I'm just saying, right, it's a big game, right?
Mhm.
And we're going up against a Real Madrid or somebody similar to that. Would you start Eze in there? And if you were going to start Eze in there, whose position does he take?
As of right now, if we were to bring in Eze, he would start on the left wing.
So he would start in place of Martinelli, right?
Yeah, I've really wanted Martinelli to succeed, to develop, and I think what was it, 3 seasons ago, the 22-23 season when he hit 15 goals.
Yeah, 15, 16.
I think we were all hoping he would kick on from that and kind of hit the same rate of development that we've seen from Bukayo Saka.
But this is the criticism he's getting now, that he doesn't look up and he doesn't do this and he doesn't do that and he doesn't do the other, which I see that as well.
Yeah,
I don't like bashing on players whatsoever.
no.
But he certainly doesn't do that at times, and he certainly doesn't do it effectively enough. But that season he did.
That season he did, but at the same time, if you go back and watch not just the goals he scored, but the runs he made, he was looking up and proactive a lot more than it seems he has been recently. And I understand if your form is out the window because you've picked up a little injury and you're kind of in and out of the squad. I get that. I have all sympathy.
But he was coming back off the back of an injury as well, to be fair, to give him some kind of credit.
Absolutely. But even when he wasn't coming back from an injury, when he'd been in the side for many games in a row, he'd kind of regressed in terms of that proactive decision making. He would look up only once the ball was at his feet. You're giving yourself too much to do in that situation as a professional, because think of what the top players in the world always say: you're scanning multiple times before you receive the ball, so that by the time you have the ball, you already have a picture in your mind as to what you're going to do. Saka does it. You can see it when you go back and watch replays closely.
Dauman does it.
Dauman does it.
Right. So when Dauman, this is where I was kind of leading, right? And I'm not saying, again, I'm not overhyping Dauman, and I'm not saying that he starts over Saka. He doesn't start over anybody in the squad at the moment. He gets limited minutes because we nurture him, bring him in, do whatever.
Yep.
But I'm using it as an example that Max Dauman looks up before he receives the ball. He gets a picture of what's around him, and then he makes decision.
Mm-hmm. But the decision is made easier because he's already got an idea of the picture.
Got the picture, right?
Yeah.
So, but Martinelli doesn't seem to do that. He kind of receives the ball, sticks his head down, runs for the byline, whichever byline it is, and then tries to make a decision whether he's going to cut it back, whether he's going to cross it, whether he's going to maybe run directly, which I've seen him do twice recently. Because I quite like it when he actually just goes directly, cuts inside, and just runs directly at goal. And
so do I.
Actually has a shot, or he'll play it, or he used to play it, towards the back post. And that, either Saka's there, or Odegaard's there, or Ben White's there, or whatever. But he just seems to lack that kind of either confidence to do that, or the brain power to do it, or whatever.
I don't think it's ability. I think it is confidence.
No, I don't think it is. I think he doesn't process it properly.
Yeah, I think it's a confidence thing. It's sort of similar in a way to Havertz. Think of how Havertz was in his first couple of games
before the penalty.
Even I'm not even saying that far into the season. I think just the first couple of games into the season, he was still finding his feet, still kind of getting on the same wavelength as everybody else. And long before the penalty, people were starting to pick up on what he was doing well, despite the goal not coming. And then obviously the penalty made it tangible. As soon as he was on the score sheet, now his confidence went up another level. And now compare how he started off last season, the 24-25 season. Scored our opening goal, was involved in everything. He was on a high. Remember the chip he scored against Brighton at home? to
Yeah.
put us ahead. Like, he's showing presence of mind. He's a confidence player. Same with Martinelli. I think he needs a run. It's in a way a vicious circle because he needs something going for him tangibly, a goal, an assist, something like that in 2-3 games on the spin. And then suddenly those other good attributes will come back up. But those goals and assists are not going to come anymore without him first doing the basics, looking up ahead of time, planning out what he's going to do before the ball reaches him. Because otherwise, he's doing exactly what you said. He runs head on at the defender, and the defender's clocked what he's going to do because he doesn't have a very clear idea, I think, as to what his next course will be.
And this is made worse, in my opinion. It's actually made worse purely because players or teams are doubling up on Saka,
Mm-hmm.
and essentially he's got more space.
He has the space. It's now down to him to use it and for the squad to recognize it. But they have to work in tandem. You know, it can't just be that he's making the runs and no one's spotting them, or people are trying to play the passes and he's not making the run. That is something that it's got to come from both sides.
Yeah.
And yes, Saka's being doubled up now. I think our plan obviously is that with bringing in Gyökeres from Sporting, he now provides someone else closer to Saka who is a distinct threat on goal, because Martinelli's all the way on the other side of the pitch. Yes, he's a threat, but not if Saka's got the ball and is doubled up on. Gyökeres would be a little bit more of a direct threat close to Saka. We could play the ball to him quicker. Now doubling up on Saka is a big problem for other teams in theory, because now you have.
But I think it's slightly different to that, because if you've got the likes of Gyökeres up front and you've got Saka up front as well,
Yeah.
who can receive the ball, it then makes it slightly more variable.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than just Havertz taking the ball down,
Yeah.
you've obviously got the striker, you've got Saka that can take it down, Odegaard maybe as well, and all three of those could essentially receive the ball and essentially roll it out to Martinelli.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That's his game.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'll tell you what I have in mind with Havertz or Gyökeres and Odegaard. What do you remember the goal we scored? This is years ago now. Do you remember that game against United at home where we were 3-0 up in 20 minutes?
Yeah, I do, yes. And I was like, what team are we watching here? Yes, yeah. I do.
But the way we scored the third goal in that game is what I am hoping we do for Martinelli. Switched it right to left very quickly. You know, that time I think we had Walcott.
That's just gone, hasn't it? I mean, that hasn't happened for years, really.
No, but
it started to happen a little bit last season.
It doesn't have to happen every time, but that is how you release Martinelli, right? You're bunched up and clumped up on the right-hand side, and a couple of passes, because I think that one was like Ramsey to Walcott, Walcott to Sanchez, and Sanchez had lots and lots of space. That's how we made the third goal. That's what we need to do for Martinelli. Yes, it's fine. If teams are doubling up on Saka, great. Now quickly work the ball over to the left, and now you're playing to Martinelli's strengths. That's how you use him, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think that he should be getting chalk on his boots when the ball is coming forwards, and when it's already there, he needs to be like on the edge, on the left-hand edge of the box or whatever, to receive a shorter ball. And you know, he can either use his pace to make some space and essentially get another ball into somebody else, or he takes a shot. You know,
and the thing is, like, we've seen. You're right that it's been years since we've consistently scored goals like that one. But actually, I'm thinking back, and even Martinelli has been on the end of moves like that. If you remember our first title challenging season in recent times, the 22-23.
Yeah.
When we scored that first minute goal against Liverpool at the Emirates, Martinelli's the one that scored it, but that's how the move came. It went from the right quickly in the middle. through the defense to the left, and Martinelli was the quickest, which is why he was there to finish.
Well, yeah, because he attract the attention, take all the attention over there, get it out of there, and you're completely free.
Exactly,
Well,
and
not
that's
completely
how
free, but you know, you
you
haven't
give them
got
a
2 and 3
fighting chance.
players on you, rather than whatever,
Yeah.
and they're narrow because everybody's been dragged over to that side.
Mhm.
So there's 2 players now covering the incorrect position, really, because the right back's covering the right centre back, and the right centre back's covering the left centre back, really.
Yeah.
So they're out of position, and it's perfect for the likes of Martinelli to kind of capitalise on. But everything's, if there's one criticism, it's got to be that everything's so slow, methodical, and yeah, we need to speed that up. We need to get the variation up, don't we?
And like we said maybe 10 minutes ago, I think that is the change. Like we've read, I don't know whether you read the report within the last 24 or 48 hours, that Arteta has been working to implement how directly we're attacking due to the arrival of Gyökeres. Like he recognizes that this striker means that we are going to have to play more direct, more quick football. That will only benefit Martinelli if we manage to implement that style.
For sure, but I also think that obviously the crossfield balls that are going to come in, or should be coming in, have to go to the right side.
Yeah, either the right or central
center, and they work their way to the left. So
yeah,
my point with kind of all of this is like, does that make us predictable again, or does it make it to a point where it kind of gets out there and nobody can really do anything about it?
I don't think it makes us predictable. I think it makes us a lot more difficult to deal with if we suddenly have both ways of attacking in our locker. Because if we have, let's say Havertz is the focal point, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say if Havertz is the focal point, he's got the ability to play the ball out to the right or to the left. If you want to play it a little more structured, control, push the opponent back into the box, then you play it out to the right, where Saka, Odegaard, Ben White, Timber, whoever's there, they're able to keep possession, keep control of it, take our time, pen the opposing team back into their box. If you want to play quicker and more transition based, then yes, you play the long ball out to Havertz. He doesn't play to the right, he plays it to the left, where Martinelli is able to be more direct. That's how we need to, like, it starts off with the long release quickly from the keeper or the defense. You play it out to, like you said, the center point, whether it's Havertz or Gyökeres. But if you want to play more direct, you then go play towards Martinelli on the left-hand side. Because think of who we have on the left side now as well. We'll have Martinelli and we have Rice, who's got the stamina of a horse that can just keep going and keep pushing quickly, right? So I think we have both ways of attacking, and it's very difficult to defend against both styles at the same time. So it basically is just a case now of how well are we able to implement the transition-based attacking style in our squad.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how we adapt, because yeah, it is needed. Definitely is needed. A lot of people have already made the decision that that Arteta can't adapt, even though he's changed the methodology for the last 2 seasons. But yeah, I don't really understand where they get that logic from, to be honest. But that's their opinion. They're completely entitled to that, to be honest. But I just don't really understand how you basically turn around and say, well, he doesn't adapt, when you're also saying he went from one of the most attacking managers to one of the most pragmatic managers. I don't understand how that logic works. It doesn't really make any sense.
No, the logic itself doesn't work at all. And the proof is there in front of you that even when we went more pragmatic in 23-24, we scored the most goals of any Arsenal side picked up the most points of anyone except the Invincibles in our own history in the Premier League. Like the pragmatic side was still able to pick up points and score goals at a rate that no other side, even those the double winning sides of 2002 or the 07-08 team that was so close to winning the league as well. None of those sides, even though they played football that was attacking and had flair and everything, they couldn't score goals at the rate that Arteta's so-called pragmatic side did. Like we clearly have the ability.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd. I just, as I said, I don't get the logic. I don't think there is a logic. I think it's pure. I don't know if it's fallacy. I don't know if it's hopium. I don't know if it's bait. I don't know what it is. But I just don't think it stands up. And I think the points totals and yeah, I just think they all debunk everything that people say, especially when they say that Arteta can't adapt, because he has adapted.
He has adapted, and last season was a great example of it. Every injury we got, we had to adapt in a different way.
Yeah.
And to still be sitting second in the league after every one of those long-term injuries we had. Didn't we have 3 of our players have hamstring surgery over the course of last season, and we still managed to finish second in the league? If that's not the sign of an adaptable manager and squad, I don't know what is.
Didn't we have seven operations throughout the course
Something
of the
like
season?
that. I think Gabriel, Havertz, and Saka all had hamstring surgery.
Yeah, Ben White had surgery.
Yeah.
Odegaard. Jesus had surgery. Odegaard, Havertz,
and Tomiyasu. Did he have one during the season?
Don't talk about Tomiyasu. The
really
elusive.
Sad we never got to see the best.
The elusive Tomiyasu, but it was a great player. It was a great player and very adaptable. Played on the left, and the right. But I think he actually played a couple of decent games on his left, on the left-hand side, and then literally just went.
Timber. Timber was the last one that had a surgery right near the end of the season.
Yeah, Timber was when everything was kind of all done and
wrapped up.
He went to but yeah. So
let's hope we have better injury luck than that this
time. I certainly hope so.
Although we are planning for depth this time, it looks like we've got most of our bases covered now.
Well, my kind of worry going into the transfer window, everybody was saying, "Oh, we need another left back. We need this. We need that. We need the other," and everybody kind of omitted, for me, the right centre back.
Right.
And everybody said, "Oh, Timber can play there. White can play there." Okay, yeah, but what if one of them is injured? You need one of them to still play, right?
Yeah.
So who's covering the right centre back now?
Nobody, but that's why Mosquera was a good signing.
Yeah, so you're left with Kivior again, covering the other centre back.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed, in one of the friendlies, he brought in Mosquera.
Yeah.
And Saliba went left centre back.
Yes. Was that against Spurs? I think that was
against Spurs, yes. And I don't know if that's something that he's trying to implement, where he's going to try and get Saliba to do that as a whole, or he's just gone, well, we haven't got Gabriel, so.
I think I'm leaning towards the latter of the two options in that case. I think he didn't want a completely inexperienced centre-back pairing. Like, he didn't want to do Kivior and Mosquera in the middle. And Saliba's got enough experience and quality that he can adapt. Because doesn't he play left centre-back for France? Or he has done, at least. Saliba has.
I think he has. I don't think he's done it very well.
Okay. But he's done enough that for a preseason friendly to have Saliba there next to Mosquera is a good way to start easing Mosquera into his preferred position.
Yeah, I don't think that what's happened very well is Konate and Saliba both being on the pitch together.
Yes,
that's kind of what they appear to have stopped doing.
Yeah.
So,
But I think
so
when the two of them did play together for France, it was Saliba left.
it was
and Konate
Saliba
right.
left, yeah. But I don't think it really went that well.
Right.
Albeit, I think a lot of it was probably Saliba was going back into the same position because Konate was a bit advanced or whatever. Not that I watched the games too in depthly, but I watch it to see what the positional tweaks
Yeah.
are and
Yeah.
whatever to see. Could he play like that for us? To be honest, so
Right.
it's
But yeah, I think that was pretty much the only. I would imagine that's the only thinking behind having Saliba on the left to partner Mosquera, is to have a senior centre back in there, and Saliba can also give Mosquera some guidance as to how to play that position, because that's Saliba's natural position, right centre back. And so
Yeah,
he
I
can
think
kind of
as well. Calafiori was out as well, wasn't he? So
yeah, he was. Yeah.
So Kivior would be the only backup at left back if MLS needed it.
Yeah, I think so. I also
So
think we
maybe
might
that as well.
see. I think we might see more of Timber playing at left
Left
back.
back.
Because
He was so good at left back when he started
didn't he,
last season.
before his injury, he played there quite a bit, and he was very good. Like he played in there that preseason and the first game of the league before he picked up the injury 2 years ago. And I thought he looked solid in that left back position. But then comes what you said, that we kind of run the risk of, if Timber and White are both playing fullback and one of them gets injured, now you've lost your depth at that position too.
Yeah, I think he's tried the utilitarian, if that's even a word, approach that basically, we can have a small squad. We can have him at right back. We can use him for cover at right back. Use him cover at left back. Use him cover at centre back, and eventually you just run out of positions. So it's I don't think that approach is I think the transfer window up to now has proven that they're not sticking by that approach anyway.
Yeah, I would say so. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see Timber start at left back in some games, just to give MLS a rest. And if Calafiori is not available, or Kivior is kind of not being pushed into there, because we don't want to lose Kivior, because then who covers Gabriel? Like theoretically, Kivior and Calafiori can both play left centre back.
They can so can Mosquera, but
yeah.
he's predominantly right, but he has played left centre back actually.
But Calafiori and Kivior.
Again, before anybody kind of pitches into to the Mosquera thing, I'm not claiming to be in the know. I'm not claiming to watch every Mosquera game or whatever. I'm just purely I've seen a few games. I do watch the Spanish league. I don't watch it that much. There wasn't great amount of coverage of it last season, to be honest. And I think I ended up watching more Serie A than La Liga last season. So you can take of that what you will. But I have watched a few edits and a few versions of him actually playing left centre back rather, and he looks okay. He looks in the mix, and he's supposed to be touted. I'm not saying this. This is what's in the media of. He's supposed to be one of the upcoming under 21s from the Spanish national,
which is good
setup. So yeah, exactly. So you can't really complain at that. And we got him for about 17 million quid, I think. So
yeah, I think
somewhere
somewhere around that.
I think it was 17 in the end. I think it was I think it was we put in bids at 14 million or something like that, and we ended up getting for 17. So either way, I mean, it's a couple of million either way, and I'm not going to really cry about it, to be honest with you.
No, and I think as long as he gets, say, the last 10, 15 minutes of some matches where we've had a busy schedule, and Saliba gets a little bit of a rest, I think that's his job done for the coming season. Like, he doesn't need to play 50% of minutes at right centre back. He just needs to play 15 or 20%, and we're good. That's enough rest to keep Saliba fresh.
And he can play right back. So the most
Yeah.
exciting thing about that, right, is that we don't have to see Zubimendi at right back. We don't have to see Declan Rice at right back.
Or Norgard.
Norgard. We don't have to see anybody
Norgard's
like that.
Norgard's played at right back before, right?
He has played right back, yes,
Yeah.
and he actually played left back once as well. But I
Okay.
don't want to see that.
There's your utility depth.
Yeah, I'm done with that. I just want to see a right back or even right a defender, not a midfielder. I want to see a defender at
In
right
defense.
back. In defense, yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of all I mean, it's not a big criteria, is it?
No.
But
I think Berta and Arteta heard you.
I think Berta did. I'm not sure about Arteta, to be honest with you. But unless, and I'm not saying that this is the case because I'm not in the boardroom, but there's been some massive shift. Edu's gone, and Berta's come in. So I don't know if it's just the lack of creativity from Edu, but I fear for Forest. I really do.
I mean, if Edu doesn't do the job, then I'm sure Mr. Marianakis will, because he clearly convinced Gibbs White to stick around.
Is it just me that thinks he had a revolver up his shirt?
It looked like that, didn't it?
Just like, yeah, I'm coming to this interview. I'm not sending my security guard. I'm not sending my manager. I'm doing it myself. Just in case he tries to do a runner.
Has anyone gone back and watched Gibbs White's little interview to see if he kind of blinks twice because he needs help?
Yeah, puts his hand up and he's got help.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. Or he's going like this. Yeah. Can we call for Angela, please? Yeah. I'm not entirely sure about that one, to be honest, but I guess it's a bit of a coup that they've kept hold of Gibbs White.
Oh, definitely, especially because they've lost Elanga, right, to Newcastle this summer.
Can we just go on Newcastle actually before we go anywhere else?
Yeah,
this, you know, it's a bit of a joke of a transfer window, right? From Newcastle's point of view.
Is it bad for me to say that I'm quite enjoying it?
I don't think it's bad at all. I don't think every Arsenal fan should be enjoying it.
No, I just mean
is that bad for me to say?
No, I don't think so. I think, and it's not even the football necessarily. I mean, there's enough about their way of playing football that I just don't like with how heavy-handed they play.
I don't know. How do they keep getting away with it though? I don't really understand. It's just like, do you think it's that simple? Surely it's not that simple.
I don't know if they're smart enough to do anything more complicated.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to say that they're thick or whatever. But
no, not thick. But I think that they've noticed that other clubs have been able to go through loopholes and use them quite effectively. And
I don't think that Newcastle really do that as such. I mean, do they have the facilities to do that? What gets me right is that these teams such as Villa, Newcastle, who else is it that basically call us Red Cartel and all this?
Oh, like your cities, Chelsea's, Everton's, like them.
Well, yeah, I mean, City have kind of brought the Red Cartel thing. It's PR masterclass, to be honest with you.
It is.
It's just like, yeah, you've created something that clearly doesn't exist. And all right, yes, teams wrote letters. I'm not being funny, right? There were more than the top 6 teams in the Premier League wrote letters to the FA, to the Premier League, saying we're worried about our status now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not joking with you, and they will come out. You know, you're not telling me that the likes of Everton, the likes of Fulham, and teams like that didn't write to the Premier League to say we're worried about how these rules are implemented, how we won't be in the league if these teams get their way.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure they did right, but I just think Newcastle, they've got the resources, they've got the backing of all this Saudi money. They're the richest club in the Premier League. They even exceed.
Yeah, but hands down. But what I'm saying is as well, they all call it the red cartel in this, and there's a loophole there that says you can sell the assets to each other
Mhm.
or to yourself, right?
Yeah.
Well,
But didn't Chelsea take advantage of that?
yeah, but they're a big club. They have assets, right?
No, but they sold hotels in their women's team to themselves.
Yeah, for sure. But what I'm saying is that when these other teams have the chance to close that loophole,
Yeah.
they voted against it. Now,
Yeah, I never understood that.
I don't know, right, from a point of view as what Aston Villa own and what Newcastle own, but I can imagine it's not a lot.
No.
Whereas Chelsea have got, a bit of an emporium, if you like. They've got a catalogue of assets, right?
Yeah.
Because they're a bigger club. So they own their stadium. They do well with the women's team. They can't win the Champions League though. We'll say that. Yeah. 0 UCL for the women's team.
No one in England.
Yeah. So did we get that right? 0, right?
Yeah, I think it's 0.
Yeah. I think it is 0. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Our women's team, however, not so much.
2.
Yeah, exactly. But so yeah, I just had to get that a little bit in there because they think that nobody supports the women's team. But there you go. I'm not the most avid of fans. There are much more bigger supporters of me, but I'll celebrate that. But I don't understand why you would vote to keep a loophole open when you don't own anything.
I don't know. I wish I had the answer to that. I don't know why anyone would do that either. But
I know Aston Villa have got a reasonable women's team, although it's not really done anything major. I don't think.
no huge success.
But Newcastle certainly don't do
No.
anything with their women's team.
No.
So why would you vote to leave it open?
Maybe I'm pure speculation, but maybe they can see a way that they can exploit it, because most of these exploitations of the loopholes have not been something that clubs have been able to do instantly or within the first couple of weeks or months. It's over years that they.
Yeah, but I mean, I can understand being selective when you use it. I think that's more what it is, because like what Villa basically sold a few players and then gone, well, okay, now we're in trouble. We'll sell the women's team. I think it was like 80 million or something.
Yeah, something like that.
To a third party company. All right, fair enough. Chelsea used it, but what are you going to do now?
They basically kicked the can down the road. They'll deal with it again in some way later, but for now they've used the loophole to solve a problem in the short term.
Yeah, but also they can't spend anymore.
No.
Because they must have needed 80 odd million or whatever it was to balance the figure, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I do. Just go, well, we need that figure. We don't want to overinflate it, because if we overinflate it, then they might not let it go through.
Mm-hmm.
And then all your avenues are gone.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I desperately am hoping that the clubs that have used these loopholes in underhanded ways, I hope they get what's coming to them. But my hopes aren't the highest, especially with this with City's 130 charge, whatever it is.
I think forget it. It's not happening.
I think that's what they're hoping for. They're hoping that people will just forget to keep putting pressure about these things, and then they'll just get to kind of let it fizzle out.
But yeah, it's just pointless even talking about it because it's just not happening, is it? So it's like, well, I don't I don't know about you, but I don't trust the Premier League anyway.
No, neither do I.
For whatever reason, they seem to be very selective and give points deductions to like Everton and whatever. But could Everton and could Forest and even Leicester, I think they're looking at a points deduction this season.
Mm-hmm.
Could they have just said, "Didn't do it, Gov. Prove it."
I mean, I'm sure they could, but it depends on what exactly their misdemeanor is, and does the league have enough evidence? Does the FA have enough evidence to say, yeah, okay, here's the proof?
Mm.
I think it's different, and I feel, by the way, for Everton and Forest and Leicester and anyone else that's had to suffer these points deductions in recent seasons, I do really have a lot of sympathy for them, because everybody and their dog knows that City have not played by the rules. It cannot take this long to prove it when you've had access to the documents for, I don't even know how long it's been now, that all the documents.
It's been years, a couple of years, isn't it?
And
really?
and City, if I remember correctly, when the initial steps of the investigation were taking place, City were not cooperative. They didn't hand over all documents. I feel like that's what I remember reading about it.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but nobody who's operated by the rules is afraid to provide proof.
Yeah, this is the thing that gets me really, where they say we have unequivocal evidence that it didn't happen and blah blah. Just show it then, and then we can close the book.
Yeah,
and we can all move on with our lives. Happy days.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
End off. And that's all people don't understand. That if you've got this evidence, whatever, show it. We can all go home. We
Yeah.
can all carry on with our lives. You won't hear about 115 anymore, 130, 136, 139, however many it is now. And we heard that some of it was the length of the grass and all this lot. And I was just like, well, yeah, it doesn't really make any sense, does it?
No.
But I don't trust the Premier League. If it has even happened, I'm not saying it has. I'm not saying anybody's guilty, whatever. I'm saying it doesn't look very good. It doesn't look good on the league. It doesn't look good on the Premier League themselves, that they can't.
No, it doesn't. But
They can't prove or disprove it one way or another. And Paqueta as well, by the way.
He was cleared, wasn't he?
He was cleared. So either they've made it up on a whim.
Yeah.
And they've just taken it too far and they just can't go back on it. Or they had a bit of evidence, but not enough to take it to an actual hearing.
Yeah.
Because it didn't get thrown out. He's basically been found innocent on all charges.
Yeah. He's been cleared of all charges.
So you basically didn't have the evidence in the first place. So I don't trust the Premier League.
I don't expect much of them. I have very, very minimal hope that it might still work out the way that I think all football purists are hoping it does. But the longer it goes on, the less hope there seems to be.
Yeah, I think everybody just give it up and forget about it and whatever. But yeah, I do agree with you. That's exactly what they want. But it's taken so long now that it's just like, well, it's just a bit of a joke, because we were supposed to hear about it by this day and by that day and by the next day and the other day, and we'll get done before the end of the season. And
now it might not happen till next year,
to the end of next season. It's just to get literally just kicking.
If it happens. They're not worth our time anyway.
Exactly. I think that we just carry on as normal and hope for the best, and
let's just beat them to the league anyway.
Well, they're not winning the league anyway, so it's not their they're not the target, are they? So Liverpool the
Well, we
target.
have Liverpool to catch, but I think City, if Rodri is anywhere near his usual levels, will be a challenge as usual.
Do you think he comes back at his same level? Do you think he actually
I think he will, but
yeah.
not right away. I think it will take some time.
Yeah, because he had an injury as well, didn't he? In his was that in the Club World Cup?
I don't know. I didn't watch the Club World Cup.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but I think he got injured in one of the games anyway. I can't remember exactly what game it was. There was a bit of yeah, this has happened, that's happened. So
No, I can't. I mean, if it happened, I haven't seen anything about it. But if he's fit, I do think he will eventually get back to his regular levels. But most things I've read say that an ACL or that type of injury, it takes about 9 months for you to get to baseline fitness and performance levels, and then another 6 to 9 months to get to your peak levels again, your pre-injury levels. So if those numbers are true, then sometime during the coming season is when Rodri will get back to his best. And our aim is we should be ahead enough of them by then that they can't catch us.
yeah, I mean that's certainly the hope, isn't it? But yeah,
They don't have De Bruyne now either.
Well, yeah, this is the other thing that obviously there was a lot of people basically saying, "Oh, yeah, Arsenal going to finish third because City are going to be above them, whatever." Do you think City are going to be above us this season?
They'll be tough as always, but I think we'll finish ahead of them. Yeah, I'm gonna have enough faith in the team and the signings and everything we've done, plus the ability of Arteta and the current squad that we have anyway. I'm gonna back them that they will finish ahead of City anyway this season. Liverpool are the ones that will be tough.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think we'd be the top two.
I think it's us and Liverpool that are top two, and I don't think it'll be by
Yeah.
a distance. I think City will be within touching distance, but I think we will be ahead of them by the end.
Yeah. Do you think the top four will be?
I wouldn't be surprised if the top four are similar or the same as what they were.
Do you think that there'll be like there was like 6 teams that can get into the top 4 this year?
Right.
Do you think that'll continue, or do you think?
Who else was in the race? Was it Villa and Newcastle last season?
Villa, Newcastle. Obviously,
and then
Newcastle got in, and then potentially there was Brighton potentially in there, wasn't there? There was it was Bournemouth at one point. Forest
and Forest, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if I'm going on just based on the transfer window, and obviously, anything can happen. Think like Leicester 2015, 2016. No one envisioned something like that. But I think if we're just going on the trends and the transfers that have happened, I don't think Forest will be in a Champions League push as long as they were last season. I do expect us, Liverpool, City, Chelsea to all kind of be up there again. I think I could probably see Villa there or thereabouts in the European places. Whether they push consistently for top 4 remains to be seen, because we've seen rumors of Watkins to United, or just generally kind of on his way out. I think the Isak thing is going to play a big part in whether Newcastle are up there. If Liverpool manage to get Isak, then I don't know what Newcastle will do.
Yeah, I mean, it's not looking good with that, is it? Because obviously the replacement for Isak is essentially Sesko or Shesko or whatever, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
That we were going to get. We pulled out of that deal purely because his expectations or his agent's expectations or the club's expectations, whoever the expectations, ain't easy for me to say, but you know, whoever was setting those targets obviously got too rich for our blood when both of them wanted to come to Arsenal anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got him going there, but you've also Man United are in for him as well.
Yeah, and Newcastle submitted a bid that was rejected, right, for Sesko?
Well, as I understood it, Man United submitted the same bid.
Oh, okay. I saw David Ornstein's post on Twitter about 75 million euros plus 5 in add-ons from Newcastle. I didn't see the United part.
Well, I might be wrong, but I thought I saw, not necessarily from Ornstein, I thought I saw it from somewhere else. That Man United bid. I might be wrong with that.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but they're definitely chasing him.
Yeah.
And where do you actually see him ending up?
United. If I had to put money on it,
I think I would as well.
Yeah, because I think Newcastle, as much as I don't like them for how they play, they hold the cards for the Isak deal. He's got 3 years left on his contract with them. They have no obligation to sell at all. And didn't he just come back to he's returned to Newcastle for first team training. So
yeah,
whether that's part of, you know, a discussion with the club that, hey, look, if you fulfill your responsibilities to your contract, then we'll see what we can do about making your transfer happen. Whether it's that type of discussion or whether it's just the club putting their foot down and saying, you're our player for 3 more years. Sit down, shut up, and do the work kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's got to be something in that basically says that, yeah, sign another contract maybe, and we'll put maybe a release clause in there, and then you can go next year or whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what they go with, because that would optimize the deal for all parties. Sign the contract with a. But the thing is, if this summer has taught us anything, Isak and his agent need to get it in writing in the contract on what the agreement is, because gentlemen's agreements in discussion mean absolutely nothing.
Certainly not when gentlemen aren't involved, right?
No, exactly.
I definitely don't think that's Van Deres. I think he's a bit of a brute when it comes to negotiations. That said, I think that the Berta is exactly the same, and they're basically stuck to their guns, as it were, a little bit.
Oh yeah,
and they've kind of gone, well, he don't want to go anywhere else, mate. So we'll just wait as long as you want.
And the same with Sesko, because didn't he and Leipzig have a gentleman's agreement, and now Leipzig have been changing their demands.
He had a release clause. Yeah, I mean, he was a bit of a, pardon it, he was a bit of a dummy.
Whether that was him or his agent that agreed to it, whoever was the one involved was not intelligent about it, because
he had a 55 million release clause, I think.
So he did, and then he signed a new contract.
He signed an extension for 3 years, I believe it was.
I don't remember how many years it was, if I'm honest, but all I remember reading for sure is that the new contract got rid of the release clause with the gentleman's agreement that in a year's time he'd be allowed to leave.
Yes, so they basically said that they wouldn't, so long as a suitable offer came in.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
I mean, clearly the goalposts on that are changing.
Yeah, exactly. I could just go, oh, I want a tenner today. Oh yeah, well, it's tomorrow now. We'll make it 30 quid.
It's I'm glad we played how we did with getting Gyökeres, because Berta's played that very smart, like you said.
What do you think about the criticism of some fans that basically said, well, you didn't get the number 9 first, you know, just you went for the other players and whatever.
Do you want me to sugarcoat my answer or say it honestly?
I would just say how it is.
Okay, I think those fans are idiots. I think the striker signing was important, but just so that those fans were at ease was not the reason to get the striker in first. I think as long as the deal was being worked on from early days, which the proof is it was, then you know the club knows and the staff there know that the deal is being worked on, it will get done. There's no obligation that that needs to be the first deal announced. Those depth signings that we needed to make were just as important. The order of announcement does not matter at all. And
Yeah.
whether we are all in the know about every stage of the Gyökeres process or whichever striker we'd ended up going for, that does not matter one bit. It's whether we do the business.
Yeah, one thing I would add to that as well, it was clear that they were trying to make that deal at the same time.
Yeah,
So,
of course.
but obviously they preferred Sesko. Now, whether you agreed with that kind of selection process and whether you thought Arteta, it was Arteta's signing, so it was Sesko, and whether you think that Arteta won and Arteta lost in the end and Berta won. Well, happy days. If you're certainly if you're an outer, you kind of got your wish, right? But there's still a problem with it. Apparently, what with some people, it's just
There's
insane.
no pleasing them.
Yeah, there always has to be a criticism of
something.
There has to be an issue with something, with everything.
Like, I'm sorry, but when was the last time you can remember us having made 6 signings incomings before the end of July? I can't remember a time.
Well, I watched another stream today, actually. Well, I haven't watched that much today. I normally catch quite a few, but yeah, I've been busy painting my rear bedroom, so it's kind of been a bit of a struggle today. But the one I did see was like that Jorginho right now is better than Norgard. For me, and I'm not even going to wait for an answer, right? I'm actually going to tell you what I think.
Yeah, please do.
I think Jorginho's legs were gone.
His legs were gone. His brain was not. He's very intelligent.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, and I'm going to use a weird kind of analysis program, right?
Sure.
Mertesacker was probably one of the slowest defenders you've ever come across, right?
Yeah.
But he made up for it because he was physically aware. He knew where he needed to go, and he'd get there. He doesn't work in today's game,
no,
because you need some sort of pace. But his kind of brain worked before his legs.
Well, yeah, right? And think back to what's he best remembered for right now? That FA Cup final.
The FA Cup goal, where it was on the back post. And he didn't do anything special with it. It literally just rolled down him.
Like he stopped everything. He stopped everything that day. And that's not because of pace. He was up against Diego Costa for the entire match.
But that's how my perception of where Jorginho is at right now. He's and I heard, right, and I'm not going to tell you who it came from because you can probably guess where it came from, but yeah, he basically saying that he's still at the pinnacle of his game because his team was in the Club World Cup. He was in the Club World Cup because we chose to release him so he could play in the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
he didn't qualify with that team to play in the Club World Cup.
No.
He wasn't with the team when they got selected to play in the Club World Cup. He was in our team.
Yeah.
He wasn't chosen to do that.
No,
we essentially went, as a goodwill gesture, mate, we'll let you go and you can go and play in the World Cup. Club World Cup. Just blows my mind.
No, it does. I know.
Oh, yeah. He's at the top of the game because he played in the Club World Cup. Well, all right. And I will say this for on Chelsea's side, I didn't think Chelsea would win the Club World Cup.
No, neither did I.
And fair play to them for winning it, right? Yeah. And I will say that, right? Because I didn't have them down to beat PSG.
No.
Although I will say PSG were terrible on the day.
Well, Chelsea nullified them. They did well to do that.
Yeah, definitely to a point. But I also think that PSG nullified themselves.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
they did. They
they
played
couldn't
right into
control.
Chelsea's game plan.
Yeah. They nullified them, but they kind of were banging their heads against brick wall. Essentially, they tried doing nothing different. So, but I was just like, well, he's at the top of his game because he's playing in the Club World Cup.
I'm telling you, don't let it get to you. It's
It's not getting to me. I just can't work it out.
There's nothing to work out. It's nonsense being spouted by people that don't understand anything. It is. That's all it is.
But these are the people, right, that say that Arteta, Arteta fans. I would say
Arsenal fans.
I would say Arsenal fans, not Arteta fans. But okay, Arteta fans are a cult, right? Well, I would argue you're a cult, right? If you're just
they are.
You just got to badmouth everything, and everything's going to be negative, then aren't you promoting a cult?
Yeah, they are.
I just, yeah, it's just odd. Just very odd to me.
The long and the short of it is, and people are speaking about Jorginho and Chelsea. That reminded me of people were saying this as well about assigning Madueke and getting Kepa, and they're saying, "Oh, we're tired of dealing with Chelsea." I said, okay, I understand that because of the rivalry thing and all, but the way Chelsea hoard players and have so many right now within their club, it's almost impossible that you will sign a player that has not played for Chelsea or is not currently playing for them. They
especially with Premier League experience,
yeah,
right?
let's
a younger
not,
player.
Let's not pretend they are signing lots of players, but lots of them are good players. So yes, sometimes we will sign players, and given how much they're hoarding them, there's a very strong likelihood that we sign a player from Chelsea. That doesn't mean they're a bad player. It doesn't mean it's their deadwood either. Like, think of how many players we've signed from Chelsea in recent years. How many of them were truly not good players? I would say Willian, probably yes. David Luiz was at the tail end of his career, but
he had moments with us. He wasn't
did.
He wasn't a bad player for us at that time.
No, he wasn't. And I value him because players like Saka have said how much he helped them settle into the first team setup.
Yeah.
When they were breaking through. I count that as very valuable. It doesn't matter whether he came from Chelsea or not. Havertz, no matter what the idiots say, is a good player. He's done well so far with us. I back him to continue.
Yeah, the one thing I will say about Havertz, and I'm not against it now, and obviously I've been a critic of that one in the past, but I can see past that now. But I've never kind of badmouthed a player or whatever as we're doing it. That when we signed Havertz, we needed something else. So I don't think we needed Havertz.
Yes, I felt the same way when we were signing him. I felt the same way.
So it doesn't matter what we got, but we needed somebody in a specific position.
True.
And not another utility style.
Correct.
However, I will say that actually supporting him and supporting Arsenal, I've seen the benefit of the signing.
Yep. And think about the best run we've made. That 23-24, that was all down to him. How much of an input he had.
For sure. But I mean, to kind of caveat that, that's not to say that if somebody else that we kind of got in the positions that we needed, we wouldn't have either done the same or done better. That's kind of my own rebuttal to that. But it's tough.
But he hasn't been a bad signing for us.
I don't think so. I obviously there's the price tag for essentially a utility player, but I think he's covered that.
Yeah, and then we've got, who else have we brought in? Jorginho. I was actually one of the ones that was not worried when we were looking to sign Jorginho that January window, because I thought he's a very intelligent player. I'd seen him play for Chelsea enough to know that he's very smart, and we're getting him at a cut price deal because January window is always more expensive.
Yeah,
And
we got him at
we
12
got him
million
for
or
12
something.
million. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
very good deal in
yeah,
the January window. And he gave us 2.5 very solid years.
yeah, for sure.
Like again, the 23-24 second half season run, it was his partnership with Rice in midfield that was the baseline for us dominating those games. He proved a very useful signing, despite coming from Chelsea. Kepa,
Yeah,
let's see how he does. Madueke, there's no way we should be making a judgment call on him when he has not kicked a ball for us yet.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter whether we're signing from Chelsea or Liverpool or United or City. If they're a good player, they're a good player. Let's welcome them. Let's see how they do. Like,
yeah,
that's been
yeah,
my thinking on it in general. Whether that's right or wrong, we'll see as the season pans out. But
yeah. No, I agree, and but I do understand the whole. Sorry, I just got bloody.
no, it's all good.
Yeah, I got somebody else's YouTube channel, and it was like he's obviously watching a friendly, and he's just sat there applauding. Some people, very strange, very strange. But there we go. But yeah, how do you think, as a whole, the window's gone? Do you think it's actually been an upgrade, or do you think it's kind of a sidestep? Where are you
Oh,
seeing it at the moment?
upgrade, definitely. We've got. I look at it as, think of what was still bothering people, and I'm sure it was bothering people within the club as well. But fans, think of what were the things that were worrying us at that time. We had a backup goalkeeper who was ineligible essentially to play the few times that we would have wanted to play him in Neto. Now we have a Premier League proven goalkeeper from Chelsea, 5 million, so we got a great deal. He's happy to be the backup, but he's got plenty of experience. He's played for Real Madrid, he's played for Chelsea.
Do you think he is happy to play back up? Do you think
I think he'll push
he's that
Raya.
guy, or he's
I
going to
think
try and push him?
he'll push Raya for sure.
Yeah,
And the thing is that even if he somehow works his way into the starting 11, okay, so what? He's a proven goalkeeper, but he's not old. He's got enough experience that he'll be solid
yeah,
for us.
and
But
he can
that's the
save a
point.
penalty.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, there's a definite hierarchy. It's not a number one, number two. It's not the Raya Ramsdale kind of
Yeah.
thing. It's more like, okay, Raya's clearly number one. Kepa's been brought in as number two, but has the capability to push enough to be a number one.
Would you be against if we actually got to a penalty shootout, him being swapped out for Raya?
No, I don't think so. I think whatever benefits the team best is what you do.
Yeah. Because I can see that happening.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see it too. Kepa's shown that in his first half game for us that he can.
Yeah,
do
I mean,
that.
although it's only obviously only a friendly, but he's shown he's still got the agility.
Yeah.
To
And
do.
then Mosquera, I think that Saliba depth was important. So we'll see how good Mosquera is, but I don't think the club have bought him on a whim. I think there's definitely been research into it, and the fact that we now have a backup player who's not, like you said, a utility player. It's not someone who also plays another position. It's, here is your role. You are playing this position as backup to Saliba. That's good. We've got that rotation.
And his utility, if it's needed, is his right back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then
a bit like oh God, Tomiyasu, to be honest.
Yeah, a bit like Tomiyasu. Now Tomiyasu, again, like I said, I wish he'd been fortunate enough to have fewer injuries, because I can't remember the last player that could play all four positions in the back line equally well, because Tomiyasu could play anywhere in the back line as needed.
Yeah, I think the only one he doesn't play is the left back,
but he did that against Salah in a couple of seasons ago, and he kept him quiet too.
Yeah, I was on about Mosquera. I don't think he's played the left back.
But
I think he's played the left centre back, and he's played the right centre back and the right back.
Well, it's fine. We have like 75 left backs anyway, so Mosquera doesn't have to play left back.
What do you think happens with Zinchenko. Obviously, we've Tierney's gone back to Celtic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I have a slightly different opinion on this to most people that I've seen. I think we should keep him for this year because I don't know yet. Like the jury's still out on how much Calafiori is able to handle the nature of the English game, whether it's the pace or how quickly one match comes after another. Whatever the thing is, like he hasn't been able to put together a run of many months together. He's put a few matches together here and there, but he needs to be able to put in months and months at a stretch for us to be sure that he's reliable starter or backup for whatever position they have in mind, whether that's left center back or left back. Like that's why Lewis Kelly broke through, is because Calafiori could not stay fit initially,
Yeah.
and Zinchenko was not trusted. But Zinchenko's not a bad player either.
And Zinchenko and Lewis Skelly are very similar in the style of play as such. Obviously,
Yes.
Lewis Skelly's a bit more defensive. He can defend a bit better. But
yeah, and Lewis Kelly's got a little more dynamism, quickness to
a bit
him.
more flair.
Yeah.
But I think Zinchenko has that flair, but not from the left back. I think he has that from midfield. But
Yes,
I don't think
he
he has
does.
that from left back.
But
so I kind of agree with you, to be honest. I think the more I think about it, it's like, well, maybe we should just,
if we keep him for one more season while we let Calafiori hopefully settle in and see how he's able to cope with his fitness, then that would also give us the benefit of Kivior being solely Gabriel's cover and not two positions. And Kivior played well when called upon last season, so I also wouldn't be opposed to him getting more game time this year against the, let's say, slightly lower sides in the league table. I don't see any reason we couldn't play a Kivior and Saliba partnership in defense to start some games or to see out some games.
Yeah.
I love Gabriel and Saliba as a pairing, and I think it's smart. It's just good use of your squad to play the quality players, even if they're backups. Give them enough game time, because that also increases their stock. Kivior's value is high in the market this year, but maybe it's not the right time to sell him. Maybe it is. But maybe next summer there comes a better opportunity. If Kivior's played enough, he will have a higher value.
Yeah, there was talk about the Jeremy guy from, was it from Rennes?
Yeah, Jeremy, Jacquet or something?
Jacquet, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what is going to happen there. My guess and my hope is if we are signing him, we kind of do what we did with Saliba, sign him and loan him immediately back. Let him develop another year in an environment where he's comfortable, where he already is. And let's see how he is in a year's time.
Yeah, I kind of agree. What do you think with Nwaneri then? Do you think we should get a loan move for him, or?
Well, there was talk that just broke through a couple of hours ago about Stuttgart making a move for Vieira.
Vieira, yeah, I saw
which
that. Yeah,
means
no figures actually. That was that. It was kind of
no figure right now, but it did say that Stuttgart are looking at a permanent sale rather than a loan, which is good, I think.
Yeah, especially when you look about Nelson, who's another kind of loan move to Fulham, which you can kind of understand because he's a fitness concern as well. But it's a bit frustrating that you can't just get them off and
Yeah, but Nwaneri, then if there's no Vieira, if we manage to make that sale happen, then there is no other backup for Odegaard except Nwaneri and maybe Eze if we bring Eze in, but that's not done yet. So I would say Nwaneri, part of his new contract would be, and to be very fair to him, he's looked in preseason like he's toughened up, he's bulked up a bit more. So maybe he's ready to play that more central role where he has to fight for the ball a little bit more in those duels. I think he would still probably be the third choice right wing if we didn't have Saka or Madueke available there. But I think his primary role for Nwaneri is Arteta sees him as a player to rotate in and out with Odegaard.
Yeah, I think you're right, and even at the worst case, he could rotate in with Rice as well.
Yeah.
But I think that they generally start players out on the wing.
Yeah, which is what we did with him, right?
Yeah, so you start him out on the wing, and it's the same with Dowman. You start them out there, and there's less pressure to create everything. So it's definitely a case where that could be happening as well. But yeah.
Do you think we hear about Saka and Saliba's new contracts before the end of August?
I mean, it has to be coming.
I think that will happen, both of them.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to be caps on the transfer window.
Mm-hmm.
So I
think
once
we've done everything else.
Once everything else is done, I think they'll finish with that. So Saliba will probably come with the first one, and then Saka will come the last one.
And in terms of outgoings, I know we talked about Zinchenko, Vieira, Nelson. Do you see anyone else going out this summer?
I think you potentially got Trossard going.
Yeah.
My hope is that we get a run at Rodrigo.
You hope that we get, what?
Rodrigo.
You mean in addition to Eze or instead of Eze?
I wouldn't care which way.
I would say probably we'll end up seeing Trossard go. It's a shame, and I don't like how much I've seen people bad-mouthing Trossard, because I think for the price we got him and what he was signed to do, has there been a more efficient goals and assists player in our squad for that value of money?
From the bench, though.
Yeah.
It's mainly from the bench, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't really trust him as a starting player. That's kind of the problem.
No, I think his most effective games have been coming off the bench. But when he has come off the bench, I don't know if we've had anyone more consistent at providing output off the bench.
Well, the problem you've got with that is that obviously Martinelli starts on the left.
Yep.
He kind of takes over from him. It plays in a slightly different way, is a little bit more direct and a little more tricky, I guess, a little bit more fleet-footed. And I don't know. It's kind of like, well, Martinelli's kind of run direct at them. And when other players cut inside, they're kind of either tired out or they're a little bit confused to start off with, or whatever.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you start off with the directness of a Rodrigo and then you switch it round to a Martinelli who's going to run at players and basically take them to the touchline, I think Martinelli does the same thing.
Yeah, I could see that. If we were to if we were to manage to sell Trossard and sign either of Eze or Rodrigo to be primarily the left wing option, would you be satisfied?
I don't think Eze should be the left wing option.
Okay.
I think he should come through the middle.
Okay.
Which means he would rotate with Rice. And then you're left with the same problem as we were talking about before, where Rice has to go back in the 6. Zubimendi is essentially surplus.
Which there's no way that we've signed him to be a rotation.
It defeats the whole object, because the whole point of Zubimendi is to kind of get the ball through the lines and up to the wingers and up to the striker. I think personally, I know I said earlier on that I've watched a select amount of La Liga. I've watched Zubimendi particularly for about 3 years. Since the first time we were kind of linked with him.
Yeah.
And probably about 6 months before. So, Yeah, I think Zubimendi. I think a lot of. I'm not trying to just bull him up for no apparent reason, but I think he's been slept on.
Oh, I agree. I think we've had that transfer, like we've been linked with him for so long, even though we were kind of mostly done the transfer for months. We've been talked about in the same breath as him for so long that I think the hype has gone down around him. I think he might be our most important signing this summer, no matter who we still bring in or sell.
I think I actually go one step further, and I probably end up with egg on my face. I don't know, but
Back in.
but I think he might be the most important signing of the Arteta era.
Wow. Okay, that's a big call.
And I know that the Gyökeres as well.
Yep.
But
I see where you're coming from with it, though.
Because how long have we been? We've been slow out of transition.
Yeah.
And everything kind of methodical, right?
Yeah, and part of it was down to the player
Partey
in six not being mobile enough.
Yeah, so he has to take 5 touches or 3 touches when one will do.
Yep.
Or whatever. It's just not progressive enough.
Right, and Zubimendi's quicker at that small aspect of the game, which changes.
2 feet as well, which is massive.
Yes.
Right, and if he's utilised properly, and I know that will be questioned whether people say that Arteta can utilise him properly, but I think this brings transition football back.
I wouldn't mind that at all, because it gives us 2 options, right? It also means that when we're trying to play, well,
3 options.
3 options. What, at the 6?
No, the ball out from a centre back as well.
Oh yeah, no, I meant in terms of styles of play. Like,
yeah,
it would mean that if we're looking to play a game in the transition style, kind of like 22-23 or like modern Liverpool, then Zubimendi's the player to have in the 6. If we're looking for something that's a little more structure and methodical, that's when you play Rice or Norgard at the 6, and players with dynamism and a little bit of chaos to them, like Odegaard and Eze or Odegaard and Nwaneri up in the 8s.
I did a an article the other day. I do odd articles here and there, but I kind of explained it as Partey was a general.
Mm-hmm.
Zubimendi is a conductor. Right,
like
so he controls the momentum, he controls the flow, and he's going to select where everybody goes.
Right.
Partey basically broke things up and played it to where people are. Zubimendi is going to control that.
Yeah.
He's not gonna wait for people to be there.
He's going to say,
to say, I want you to go there.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it's, and it kind of stems as well to the Jorginho kind of thing, because he did that as well.
Yeah.
He kind of did that on a smaller scale, but if he did that, he was able to pick a pass, whether it be through the line, whether it be over the top, but it just couldn't happen enough because his legs weren't there enough to do it. He doesn't have the pace to do it. And I'm not saying Zubimendi's fast, because he isn't. Right? He's not slow. He's no slouch.
But he's not a Martinelli.
But no, he's not. I mean, if he was, he'd be a winger. But you know what I mean?
Pace-wise, he's not that quick.
No, so he's got good mobility, but he's got good work philosophy, if you like, and he conducts,
and good speed of thought.
He's got a picture before the ball lands.
Right. That's that comes back to what we were talking about for Dauman or Saka versus Martinelli.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vieira was bought on the same premise.
Yeah.
and it just hasn't worked. He hasn't translated it, but he showed that kind of ability there as well.
Yeah,
But I think Zubimendi is the real deal.
I hope so. I mean, from
I,
what
I hope I'm right as well. But
well,
yeah.
I haven't seen that much of La Liga, admittedly, over the last couple of years, but I've heard of Zubimendi being talked about in this way for a
Yeah.
long time now. So
I haven't seen him watch him play every single game,
yeah,
but it was like I watch him every other game.
yeah,
So I watched him on purpose because in fact, the first 6 months before we were in for him the first time, I started watching him because I was like, unbelievable,
yeah,
just an unbelievable talent, and yeah,
yeah.
probably reminds me of Fabregas quite a lot.
Oh, okay. That's very high praise. I hope he lives up to that.
So yeah, I hope he lives up to that as well. As I look very stupid, but yeah, and of course it might. It's
I think
highly
there's an
possible.
adjustment period.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's but
So
I don't think he'll need it.
yeah, so based on that, do you think he starts at Old Trafford on day one?
I'd start him.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a choice now, do we? Do
I
we have a
mean,
choice? I mean, you could not charge it starting Norgard over him.
well, no, I didn't mean that. I meant more. We signed Marino to be a left eight as well. So let's not forget that he's also an option there. But so that means you do have the option of a Rice, Marino, Odegaard midfield three.
But does
Do
it
you?
penetrate enough that?
No, but it does win the duels. Do you consider that at Old Trafford? Like basically the question is going to be, do you need the conductor there or do you need dual winners against United at Old Trafford?
I don't think in the midfield battle. I don't think United have all that in the midfield battle anyway. I
No,
think
currently
if they're gonna do anything, it'd be Ahmad and probably Cunha
and Mbumo.
and Mbumo. So I don't think they actually win it in the midfield. I think they win it
Does it
if they do win it, that it's got to come down the flanks.
does it change your opinion of what the midfield three should be if we sign Eze before that game?
Probably,
Okay.
but only on the basis that Eze has knowledge of the league
Right.
and that he can probably create. So I would be starting him in the 8.
So you'd say like a Rice, Eze, Odegaard.
I'd have Rice as a 6. I'd have Eze as the 8 and Odegaard as 10.
Nice. Okay. So it sort of depends. Basically, Zubimendi starting at Old Trafford depends on whether we've got Eze by then, if that's happening, assuming.
I mean, obviously Rodrigo as well. If Rodrigo comes in,
yeah,
then I don't think you can have Rodrigo in there without Zubimendi.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Because he sprays that ball.
And just because we're talking about potential Old Trafford lineup decisions, do you start Havertz or Gyökeres?
Depending on fitness, Gyökeres all day long.
I think fitness and whether the team's adapted to his style is important.
I don't care.
You don't think that'll matter as much?
No, because he's a bullish striker anyway, so you can just get it up to him. I mean, he can run anyway.
He can run a lot, yeah, but like it's well known that
dribbles.
He's good for dribbles and he's good when the ball's played on the ground, but it's kind of well documented that he's not the best aerial winner. Is that going to be important against the likes of?
We don't play like that anyway now.
No, but
we haven't done for years.
But we've started doing that in pre-season.
We do the cutback, don't we? So basically, everything's created down the right-hand side, and you've got Saka, White, if he's playing, which White probably will play because Timber's only just come back to training anyway.
Yeah.
So you've got White doing the overlap, you've got Saka in there, and you've got Odegaard in there. I
But
mean,
you saw in preseason that we've started playing the ball long. And
yeah, for sure, yeah. But I mean, the thing is as well, if you're putting somebody up there and you're playing to his strengths, why are you going to change?
no. I understood that. I meant more like, is it more valuable to start Gyökeres and maybe bring on Havertz later, or reverse against United?
I mean that's a tough one, but I think that even if you've got Gyökeres on, with last season's style of play,
Yeah.
I think he still gets the job done.
Oh yeah. I'm not
Havertz
doubting
missed enough chances last season in that style of play, even against United in the FA Cup game,
Yes, he did.
to
And
warrant putting the striker on ahead of him.
which is fair. I can see that argument, but also I think, like, if you look at the top of the big chances missed lists, Haaland and Salah are at the top. The players that take the most chances, they are going to miss the most too, but they will put some away. The question is that if most of our 11 is unchanged from last season, is Havertz the best player to link up with the rest and make that function, or is Gyökeres the one to start that?
I'm still starting Gyökeres.
Gyökeres? Yeah.
I don't think there's any world where I start with Havertz.
See, I think it depends a little bit on. It sort of depends, like you said, on the Eze deal. If we can make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
So
obviously, I'm talking as of right now.
yeah. So if it's as of right now, then I would start Zubimendi at the 6 with Rice and Odegaard ahead of him, and I would start Havertz as well,
Okay.
because I think you could release the ball quick from the defense or from the keeper to Havertz to Zubimendi, who can spray the ball out wherever.
Yeah.
And then you can create enough runners in the box off that. With Gyökeres, because he's not as, let's say, well adapted to winning the aerial duels and the physicality, maybe, he might need a little time to get used to that. I'm not saying he doesn't play the game at Old Trafford at all, but I think after Havertz has tired out the centre backs for 60, 70 minutes, now you bring on the bullish striker that's going to run them ragged.
My problem with that is that Havertz doesn't specifically stay in the striker's position.
No, he doesn't, but he does make the defenders chase him around wherever he goes, because they still have to follow him.
For sure, but I mean, the number 9 is surely going to do that.
Oh, yeah, he will. I just wonder which one is more effective. Is it more effective to bring on Havertz against the tired centre-backs, or Gyökeres? And I think Gyökeres will have a feast if he's playing against 2 tired centre-backs for those 20 minutes. I agree that he would get the job done. I just wonder which one is the better balance.
I mean, to be fair, I don't see a problem breaking through the United defence if we can break through the midfield anyway.
Yeah, it remains to be seen how well that goes. We always have this weird.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, it's never an easy game, is it?
Trafford, don't we?
Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, that's what the manager gets paid the big bucks for. Let's see.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's see what he decides on the day.
See what our opinions are. I just wanted to add one thing, actually. Because we're gonna end up anyway. But you're around tomorrow. If you're around tomorrow, then we'll go live again.
I should be.
Anyway.
I should be here tomorrow. Yeah.
But Morecambe FC.
Yeah.
Have essentially gone out of business today.
Is that final? Has that happened?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay. I thought they had until the 10th or 11th of August before final.
Well, I've seen it under a lot of things, and all right, if it's true, then that's a sad day for football. It's just owners basically taking over football clubs and basically running them into ground is not what we want to see for any football club Sheffield Wednesday is another one that's on the brink, and the guy that's taking over there or potentially taking over there is another one that's kind of not. Well, he's got red flags. Let's go with he's got red flags. So hopefully, he doesn't end up taking another one.
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I was trying to look. As of 2 hours ago, someone said that Morecambe FC is not dead yet. The company is still trading, and we're still a member of the National League, albeit currently suspended.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it's changed in the last 2 hours.
That must be the decision to suspend them from the league.
Right.
That came
Yeah.
through. So hopefully there's hope for them yet. So we'll obviously keep an eye on that, and hope for the best with that. But
so apparently they will be expelled from the National League on August 20th if a deal hasn't been done regarding their finances and to save the.
Fine. So that's they got just over 2 weeks to sort that out. So
let's hope they can still be saved. But
that'd be fantastic. Yeah, if they can. And
it's a dark day if they do go.
Yeah, absolutely. But I hope it is actually sorted out for them. I know that the fans were actually at the club and whatever trying to sort things out. So hopefully something gets sorted out.
Yeah.
Whether it's just a fan-owned thing or whatever. But not an easy thing to do to take over a football club, even if it's the size of Morecambe. To be fair, so but yeah, there we go. Guys, if you're still watching with us, please make sure you're going to the YouTube channel, hitting the like and the subscribe button, make some comments onto the video. We're going to leave you now, but thank you very much for joining us, Varun.
Anytime. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, nice one. And thank you all for watching. I see quite a few of you are joining through the Twitter live. So thank you very much for being involved in that, and not letting us sit here on zero. So I much appreciate that. And we'll. I'm just going to find something because I need to. I've not done this for a little while. We'll see you next time, potentially tomorrow, 7 p.m. hopefully, and hopefully we've got some more transfer news and anything in the meantime, and whether it's Eze, whether it's whoever, and potentially some outgoing. So we'll see you then. I'm Sparks. This is Footy Corner. Good night.